Hi, welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Jill Duffy here with Max Eddy today. And the top tech news story is that Microsoft has a ton of layoffs coming. Max, what do we know so far?
Well, we know CEO Satya Nadella has announced that there will be 18,000 jobs removed from Microsoft and Nokia over the coming year. Most of those losses will be coming from Nokia with about 12,500, but 5,500 more, if I did the math right, will also be coming out of Microsoft, mostly in the area of marketing and engineering and sales.
Now, this is the biggest layoff in all of Microsoft history. I think the previous one was only about maybe 5,000, 6,000 people or so. So this is really huge. It's going to be going on over the next 6 months. And Nadella really mentioned that the majority of these layoffs, as you mentioned, Max, were related to the Nokia purchase that happened a few months ago. So they're sort of transitioning now all of the Android phones from the Nokia line to Lumia phones that are going to be running Windows Phone.
So this was sort of a weird coup that Nokia pulled at the last minute. They introduced the Nokia X line of Android phones, which are low-cost Android phones, presumably because Microsoft Windows wasn't going to work for the price point they were going for. But it was a little bit of a slap in the face to Microsoft. It's sort of been an open secret in those two companies, but now that is gone, will be replaced with Windows phones in the coming future. So if you really want one of those, your time is running out.
Yeah. In other Microsoft news, Bing is now being pressed to the right to be forgotten. You want to explain what's going on there?
So the European Union's top court pushed through legislation, or interpretations of legislation basically, that you have the right to be forgotten in the European Union. You can submit a request electronically to a search provider and they will remove a particular search result that you don't like.
So this isn't going to wipe out my entire search history, if I were an EU resident, of course. It's not going to wipe out my entire search history and search results just one by one? Is that
You'd have
right?
to submit, I think, multiple requests. But in that submission, you have to say your name, the country of origin, and whether or not you are currently or have plans to be a person of public interest or trust. So there's some limitations here. And the weird thing is that a lot of the pressure is being put on the search providers. The search providers have to decide whether or not it's ethical to remove someone from their search history. It's like a politician or a mass murderer. It's a tricky situation.
Yeah, well, you said that this is, the privacy is important, but we should be definitely suspicious of this. Now, I'm wondering, is it just going to remove the results from the search page? It's not going to take down the actual page,
no,
is that right?
they can't take down actual pages, although governments have been known to do that in the past. This is just for search results. But the people I've spoken to, security experts in the European Union, they've all told me that this is not popular. It's not really in people's best interest. It's been portrayed to me, I haven't looked into it, as a way for rich and famous people to sort of have their dirty secrets hushed up. So how this plays out is going to be very interesting. The EU has been pushing for a right to be forgotten, for greater privacy controls for individuals for a long time, and this has not been the best introduction of it. And I feel also that there's a really good joke about being forgotten and Bing in here, which I just don't have the energy to make this early in the morning.
In other embarrassing online news, Airbnb has changed its logo, and this was a huge blow up yesterday on social media. If you've seen the old Airbnb logo, it was kind of a very soft dull, white and blue, kind of dull logo.
Sort of like Expedia 90s sort of thing going on.
Yeah, it just sort of said Airbnb in this nice font. And now it looks like an upside-down heart, but of course it actually looks like something else. So a lot of people have been making this the butt of their jokes. It might also remind you of some female anatomy. Take a look at the color scheme. That's the one really giving it away for me.
Oh, butt of jokes. I just got that up here.
Up top.
There
All
we
right.
go.
So
moving on, I think we have a reader question today, Jill.
We do. This is from Jamie Lendino, our managing editor in the Consumer Electronics Department. Got a question asking, what's the best video player app for the Nexus 7? And I know that's one of the devices you've always got kind of going on your bench.
Yeah, I have it right here. In fact, I have one of the older ones. It's a great device, and it's particularly good for video for long traveling when you want to take that kind of stuff with you. And we asked around, what is the best here? And we believe that the MX Player from J2 Interactive is the best video player for the Nexus 7, and probably Android in general. It supports tons of video codecs. I think you'd really be hard-pressed to find a video that's not going to run on this. It has great performance on mobile devices, which is very important with the limited power that a lot of these devices have. It has subtitles, which I really like, and Kids Lock. This is a cool feature that you can lock the screen so that you put it in front of your kids and they can match their little grubby hands against it and it won't move out of the video. So MX Player from J2, check it out.
Great.
Oh, and if you have any other questions, be sure to ask us on Twitter, Facebook, or however you feel necessary to get a hold of us.
Let's take a look at one cool thing. Every day we pull something off the shelves here from the New York City labs. And today we have actually 4 cool things.
Several cool things.
Yeah, this is the new Tory Burch accessories line for Fitbit Flex. These just came in yesterday. We have a brass bangle. That's the one that I'm wearing. This is $195. The matching pendant that Max has on, $175. This is kind of high-end jewelry here. And then, of course, 2 custom silicone bracelets. So these hold the Fitbit Flex. It's one of the most popular activity monitors, and it just gives you another way to kind of jazz up your accessories. A lot of people who write about wearables have always complained that, especially for women, they're ugly, they're sporty, they're chunky, they're clunky, they're designed for men. And so Fitbit partnered with Tory Burch to come up with this line. Now the interesting thing is that very few other accessory makers have gone down this route, and I think it's because there's a lot of fitness devices on the market. Not all of them can extract the way that the Fitbit Flex can. You've got it actually, I know I saw you tapping it, it's in one of them here, but you can just pop it out and put it into any one you want. But not all activity trackers are designed that way. So I think this is nice to see. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of it as we get more fitness trackers on the market that can be extracted like that. How you like it?
I feel like James Bond in the, I can't remember which movie it is, but he's got little things he's like sticking on people to track their locations. I mean, it's a little bit ridiculous, but I do like any kind of fresh approach to technology. Technology that doesn't look like the technology we already have is always a good thing, in my opinion. Look at Apple, look at the iMac.
I think the bangle's my favorite one.
Yeah, if I was to wear one every day, I would definitely go with the bangle. And it's also cool because it doesn't have that like outward appearance of trying to be fit. I think that a lot of the fitness trackers do.
Yeah, it goes with your everyday ensemble.
This definitely matches my everyday ensemble.
Absolutely. Looks great. That's it for our show for today. I'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.